What's up, dudes and dudettes? It's Pip Surfer with another daily update for the Cowabunga system. Today's Thursday, August 5th, 2010. Hope y'all are doing great, and I'm just going to jump right into it because we have a lot to cover, a lot of comments. Appreciate the comments, and I'm going to try to answer as best as I can and as quick as I can so that we can go into today's update. First commenter wants to know, there is a longer term version of Cowabunga on 4-hour charts, wants to know how that's progressing. That's more of a side hobby. Again, I'm not really comfortable releasing it yet because I'm not that confident in it yet. It is progressing nicely. However, there's still, I guess, a few tweaks or things that I want to tinker with before I'm comfortable with it. It has produced pretty good results, and what I like about it is not as chart looking intensive, if that makes sense, meaning that I don't have to stay in front of the charts as much, which is always good because after a while, you like trading. To me, it's less stress, takes up less time, and it still nets good results. So decent so far, but I'll let you know if anything gets much better or if I release it. Next commenter wants to know about 50 and 0 levels, why I put my targets there, and it is about psychological levels. Usually at any of those times, that's when, and it's not a hard fact that every time it reaches there it'll do something crazy, but it is overall a psychological level when it reaches those points, and so I like to set those as my initial targets, and that's pretty much why. If you want to read about psychology, I guess the best resource I can think of is our psychology blog by Dr. Pipslow. That's a really good way to go. There isn't a whole lot on psychology, but it is an important aspect. So the best thing I can recommend is that blog right there by Dr. Pipslow. It's excellent material, stuff that I have used and still use today. So definitely check that out. Next commenter wants to know about R multiple. I'm not sure if I explained this in the FAQ. Again, just as a general rule though, check the FAQ first before asking questions. Not to be rude or anything, but sometimes the questions, I do see a lot of repeats, and I think the FAQs can answer a lot of those. But if it's not in there, I apologize. I'm going to try to update that soon. But R multiples basically let you know how much or how often you can lose. Basically, the higher your R multiple is, the less frequent you have to win your trades. If it's above 1, then you can still win a little less than 50% and be profitable. However, it's below 1, then you have to win at least 50% or more to be profitable. And so it's basically just a means of knowing whether or not, or knowing how often time you have to win your trades. So that's a valuable piece of information. So hopefully that will help you. But if it's not on the FAQ, I'll try to put it in there. I know I just kind of jumbled that up. Next commenter wants to know I took the buy signal at 1 when stochastics was overbought. Again, if you look at my trading before, overbought or oversold territory does not play effect into the Cowabunga system. Regardless or not if it enters overbought or oversold, it's still a valid signal as long as it's trending up. So I just hope that helps you in the future. Again, yeah, that's not part of the rules whether it's overbought or oversold, but good thinking anyways, because that is technically what stochastics tells you. All right. Next commenter wants to know about the 4-hour chart trend change candle, and this is a great question because they want to know if RSI doesn't match up or stochastics doesn't match up, if it's a trend change candle, and what do we do then if it doesn't? And we're actually going to take a look at that today because that is definitely a good question. So we'll look at that in detail and I'll answer your question there. Next one it's just a comment saying how the blog has helped. So I appreciate that. And again, Cowman, the only thing I can say is if you want to help, if people have questions and I don't get to it right away, and you know the answer for sure, go ahead and post a reply. I mean, I really think it's best when people share answers, resources, whatever they can, because that's really what it's all about, is helping your fellow trader. So really, if you see a trader that has a question and I don't want to answer it right away, feel free to just jump in there if you're pretty confident about your answer. So appreciate that. Again, appreciate all the comments and questions. Don't hesitate to post. All right, so here we have our 4-hour chart. Okay, at the start of our day, I'm going to look at the start of our day. Let's look here. We had this nice uptrend, but at the 8 o'clock candle, we did have a crossover to the downside. Now let's look at the indicators. Stochastics are trending down, but RSI is not below 50, so this is not a valid trend change candle. So what do we do at this point? Well, that means that the previous trend change candle is still in play. So that means this uptrend candle is still in play until the next candle occurs. Now, if the next candle happens and RSI goes below 50 and stochastics are still trending down, then we will say it is an official downtrend. However, if this bounces up and stochastics bounces up, then we haven't missed a beat. The trend was still up. So that filters out false reversals. So we have to wait and see what happens on the next candle. So at this point at midnight, I'm still only looking for long trades. Now, let's look at what happens. Now, the candle does drop. RSI drops below 50. Stochastics are trending down. So now we do have a trend change. Therefore, at this point, now I am only looking for short trades. So this candle closes at 4 a.m. So at 4 a.m., moving on forward, I am now only looking for short trades. All right? And the rest of the day, market stayed down. Therefore, I was only looking for short trades the rest of the day. So to recap, up until 4 a.m., I was looking for long trades. After 4 a.m., looking for short trades. All right? So now I'm on my 15-minute chart, and I'm going to move this back to before midnight. And before we do anything, let's take a look at our news events for the day. You can go to babypips.com, click on the Tools tab. It brings you to our awesome Forex calendar. Today is the 5th, and we're looking for news that affects the sterling or the dollar. So here we go down, we see at 6 a.m. we have the interest rate announcement. Pretty big event there. You can see 3 dots there indicating the impact that it has. If we go down at 7:30, and I don't know if that's right or not. No, it should actually be, and this is why we want to check, because I don't think this is correct. This should actually be 8:30. And this should be 7 actually. So always, that's why I say always look, double check, because this is right now we are at -4 Eastern time. Excuse me. So let's see, how do we refresh this? -4 and all right. And there we go. Okay, so actually it's at 7 a.m. that the announcement is coming out, and then at 8:30 we have the U.S. initial claims, which is 2 dots. So that's pretty important. 9 a.m. again, not that important, so we're not going to pay attention to it. All right, so that's how we check out our news events. Again, always double check. That's why you double check those things, because technology can still be finicky. All right, so 7, 8:30 are my news events. I'm only looking for long trades at this point, so I'm going to move my chart forward. Here we get a crossover. RSI is above 50. Stochastics trending up. MACD went from negative to positive. Valid entry there. Our entry will be at the close, which is at 58.96. Stop will be at most recent swing low at 71. And so we're right at the zero level at 5,900. So at this point, we want to go for the same amount of pips we're risking on the trade. And in this case, all we do is we take the entry at 96. Subtract it from our stop, we get 25 pips. And now we're just going to add that to our entry, and we get a target at 59.21. And our news event is until 7, so we're okay there. And unfortunately, we do get stopped at 2:30. Not much we can do there. Just jot that in the books. Continue to move forward, and we're still watching. Now at this point, it's 4 a.m. I look at my 4-hour chart. I know at this time I have a downtrend now, and I'm only looking for short trades at this time. And so here we continue to move forward, and I know I'm going through this fast, but I don't have much time left. Alright, so 9:15 we get across. RSI is below 50, stochastics trending down. MACD went from positive to negative to valid entry. One enter at the close, which is at 58.69. Stop will be at the most recent swing high at 59.22, and we're 19 pips away from the nearest 50 level or 0 level, so that's okay there. And now we'll just watch the trade, and our target does get hit at 10. Doesn't make a clean break, so you want to just exit there as close as you can. I got it at 58.52, and that was pretty much it. So I just jot that in the books, and that pretty much was the rest of the day. But again, if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask, and I will see you all on the next update. Cowabunga, dudes.